All right, everyone, welcome to the cast. I know the 6.86 hype is real.
Remaining.
As the patch notes have come out, we're going to be going over them in between the
5
games.
seconds remaining.
I've only heard a little bit about what's in them, briefly skimmed through a few things in them, so it's basically going to be my first time going over them. But we'll be going over them in between games. But we've got the Dota 2 Canada Cup to cast. We're in Group D. We've got 3 games from Shazam tonight. We're going to see the other 3 teams in the group as well, starting off with Boreal eSports in this game 1. But then tomorrow we'll finish off Group D with all those other 3 teams playing the remainder of their games, and Shazam will have the night off because they will have already completed their 3 games in the group.
10 seconds
yeah,
remaining.
guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Niz. This is, of course, NizCast.
5
And
seconds
we've
remaining.
got what could possibly be our last night of
DotA
6.85.
team ban.
We knew that the Summit 4 was going to be the last major
Radiant
tournament
team ban.
on 6.85, but yeah, we do still have some competitive games to be played here. We don't know if the patch is coming later tonight. I don't think so, but probably tomorrow, could be the day after. But either way, this is going to be one of our last
10
nights on
seconds remaining.
6.85 before we get into learning as
5
much as we can
seconds
about
remaining.
6.86 as fast as we can, and hopefully
DotA
we can then
team
use
ban.
that to our advantage and get some plus 25 MMR in our pub games, but also
Radiant team
it leads
ban.
to some good, fun, interesting, competitive Dota as well. But we're already quite a ways in the draft here, so let's just take a look at who's on these teams, because we saw Boreal eSports
Radiant
quite a bit
team
last
pick.
Dota 2 Canada Cup in Season 5 when we casted them. And they put on a show. They were really, really fun to watch. And we're seeing Pizza Dad and Jeppins returning. Looks like they've changed quite a bit of their roster since the last time we saw them cast. Since last time we casted them in Dota 2 Canada Cup. But yeah, they've been changing their roster around quite a bit. But Pizza Dad and Jeppins both played out of their mind last
10
time. So
seconds
look for
remaining.
big plays coming out from them. As for Shazam, it's a new team with Brax. It's kind of Brax
DotA
plus
team
4 they
pick.
referred to it as. But SVG, MSS, Brax, and there's 2 Ritsus. One of them's Ritsu. I believe it's the bottom one is Ritsu, and the top one, the light blue, I believe is Mason. So that's who's going to be playing on the side of Shazam. But like I said, we're already quite a ways into this draft, so let's catch up. We've got Doom and Darkseer getting banned out by Shazam. Boreal banned out
10
Gyrocopter
seconds remaining.
and Shadow Fiend. Interesting that they banned out the Shadow Fiend when they're on the Radiant side. Then our picks, we had Undying
Radiant
and Bane
team
getting
pick.
picked up by Shazam. Boreal picked up Tusk and Dazzle. Remember, we saw an incredible Tusk play come out from Jeppins last time we casted them, and Tusk has only gotten better since then. So excited to see what they're going to be able to do with that hero. Then our second set of bans, we had Alchemist and Huskar banned out by Shazam. And Boreal chose to remove
10
the Lich
seconds remaining.
and the Slardar. Then our third picks,
5 seconds
Night Stalker
remaining.
and Ember Spirit. So that's gotten us all caught up. Immediately, we
Reserve
see
time.
Shazam with 3 supporty style heroes. Obviously, Night Stalker can be played as a core kind of offlaner. So can
DotA
Undying.
team
You can even pair the 2 of those together in the offlane. That works quite well. Bane, we're seeing primarily played kind of in the mid lane, supporting the mid hero and then transitioning to safe lane to help out the carry. But yeah, so we don't know. Maybe he'll be starting off in the center. Maybe he'll be shifting to the mid safe lane, or maybe he'll just start off there. We're not sure. But as the picks come through, we'll be able to
10
read in a
seconds
little bit more
remaining.
into that. And now Boreal's picked up Rubik. So they've got a Rubik and the
5
Dazzle. That
seconds
tells us
remaining.
that Tusk is going to be the offlaner. And most likely that Ember Spirit is going to be in the safe lane.
Reserve time.
And interesting that they pick up a Rubik here. Rubik actually will synergize quite well with the Ember in lane. If Rubik's able to walk up and get a lift and pull them back, and Ember also gets the chains, that could spell a death for whatever
Radiant
heroes in the mid
team
lane.
ban.
But the other thing is that Rubik is incredibly good against Bane. Bane, of course, if he goes to Fiend's Grip someone, he's channeling it. It's easy steal for Rubik. He gets it pretty much guaranteed every time. And you know what? If Rubik's lucky enough to get a Tombstone,
10
that's a
seconds
huge
remaining.
steal for them. But that's a little bit more difficult to steal
5 seconds
based
remaining.
on Undying knows that Rubik's going to be going for that if he can get it.
Reserve time.
Now we're seeing an Invoker getting picked up by Shazam. So that's going to be their mid laner. Probably not going to need the Bane there to start things off. But they might choose to have the Bane there just because it's looking like we'll probably have one of the supports in the mid lane with the Ember, whether it's the Dazzle or the Rubik. Remains to be seen. We could even see the Rubik start in the top lane with the Tusk. That could work well as well for Boreal. And then we'd have the Dazzle kind of doing the similar thing that the Bane was doing. If he chooses to start in the mid lane, he could start there and then transition to the safe lane to help out the carries, which we still haven't seen who the safe lane carries are going to be yet for either squad. Side. I mixed the two of those words together. But but I clarified that, so I think we're okay. I think we're okay.
10 seconds remaining.
Tiny, the last ban for Boreal, and I just have to quickly change
5
something here because I
remaining.
don't want this to interfere with the cast. Although I guess it technically just did.
Reserve
But
time.
there we go. That's all set and squared away. So we won't have any issues with that. But yeah, just waiting on our final ban here from Shazam. And it's really just a matter of who they don't want to play against in terms of carries. I mean, Gyrocopter's #1 against Undying, but that's already been banned out by Boreal in the first ban. They're going to choose to remove the Wind Ranger.
Radiant team pick.
I think that's not bad at all. I'm surprised they didn't remove the TA. I think TA could have been a very real possibility for Boreal. Take the TA, put it mid against the Invoker, slide the Ember Spirit to safe lane, and then you've got a winning matchup in your mid lane. Because well, TA should do well, quite well against Invoker, and it's a very tough lane for Invoker. And it'll be interesting to
10
see if
seconds
Boreal
remaining.
actually picks that up. I'm really surprised that that wasn't banned out and they banned out the Wind
5
Ranger
seconds
instead.
remaining.
The Wind Ranger would have done kind of the similar thing
Reserve time.
against the Invoker, although it's a little bit more of an even matchup. What it would have done is... no, they've got a good amount of lockdown. They're going to go with the Razor.
Dire team pick.
I wonder if Shazam was leaving the door open for that TA pick and saying, you know what, pick the TA and that puts your Ember in the safe lane, then we can punish you by going aggressive into that lane. And then you'll be in trouble. Because they've got a very scary aggressive tri-lane. If they choose to run the Undying, the Bane, and the Night Stalker all together,
10 seconds
then you'd be
remaining.
left with whatever hero they chose to
5
pick
seconds
going up
remaining.
solo against either the Tusk, or if Boreal read into it, they probably would have put their Ember Spirit off in the top lane, and then you could have
Reserve
picked
time.
to go up against the Ember. And Ember solo off lane in a 1v1 isn't going to do as well as he's going to do in the mid lane. So he loses a lot of his strength there, and a lot of that comes down to just kind of the bottle and being able to bottle crow so effectively and so quickly. But yeah, now Boreal picked up that Razor, which kind of protected them a little bit more from that, and gave them a little bit more strength in the lane, but also more strength as we transition out of the laning phase into the mid game, which Shazam looks very, very strong. Night Stalker excels at that point in the game, so does Undying. Bane's really good then. Even Invoker's quite strong at that point. So they want to cover their bases and make sure they don't get run over. And now they're actually going to pick up a Templar Assassin here as Shazam. So that's quite interesting. But now they're going to pick up the TA. So I imagine that's going to be still Invoker mid and then TA safe lane. And then Night Stalker off lane with, I'm assuming, the Undying. It's going to be very awkward with both these players using the name Ritsu. And it's not just them having the same Steam name. They've actually changed their official name in Dota 2, which you can change quite frequently. It's a little bit of a pain, but yeah, they've both changed their official name, so that's why it's showing even though they're in a ticketed match. But the Invoker is Mason. I believe this is Mason. Keep it paused. All right, so we're going to be paused for a little bit here. Oh, someone's drawing a little bird on the map. I think it was a bird. Looked like a bird. Once again, guys, I should point out that this is the Dota 2 Canada Cup Season 6, and we're covering Group D, but this is not the official channel. There is one over at Dota 2 Canada Cup, twitch.tv/Dota 2 Canada Cup. They might be broadcasting on Moonduck TV right now instead of Dota 2 Canada Cup, but I'm sure they're probably hosting the channel anyways. But yeah, so that's the official stream, I guess, with I believe Mott is casting. I'm not sure if he's casting with Purge. He's been casting some of the other games with Purge, but oh, X just won in this X and O's. If you guys are watching the mini-map. But yeah, definitely go check out Dota2.ca to find out more about the Dota 2 Canada Cup, and consider buying the ticket to be able to watch these games in-game, but also to support the tournament, because it's always a good one, and it's been getting bigger and bigger every year. Last year it was $10,000 prize pool plus the crowdfunding through the ticket. I believe we got almost up to 11, maybe past the $11,000 mark, and this time around starting off at 20,000. I don't know what the prize pool is at right now, if the crowdfunding is even actually working right now, because I know they had some issues with the ticket actually going up. That's why some of the initial games were actually cast on the free open qualifier ticket. Yeah, I agree with the admin here. ETA for unpause. Where's the ETA here? Hey, DEI. How you doing? We're stuck on a pause here. They had to make it official with a nice lengthy pause. They're trying to delay me from reading the patch notes. Okay. Apparently no one responded to the admin. And the only response we got was from Ritsu that said Mason. Okay, sorry, I don't really know what the pause is here, but hopefully that'll finish. The hype is kind of dying. It's kind of dying. The pause is, can we go? Question mark. What? They said to keep it paused. Okay, well, now we're finally going. So the team that pauses the game and says keep it paused then asks, can we go later, like they're frustrated. Well, we've got a TP from SVG down to the mid lane to get an aggressive observer ward up here, and Pizza Dad did the same thing to get an observer ward out early and try and stop anyone from doing so. And now they're finally going to run into each other. But before we get into too much talking about that, let's introduce the teams and the players. As on the Radiant side, we're going to have Team Boreal and Pizza Dad, which we just saw in that little bit of a confrontation there. He's going to be playing the Rubik. We got Ricky Boys is going to be playing the Dazzle. We got Joichiro is going to be playing the Razor. Suoma is going to be playing the Ember Spirit. And Jeppins is going to be playing that Tuskar. And if you've ever seen him play Tusk, oh my, he is very, very good at it. So it will be fun to watch. On our Dire side, it's going to be Team Shazam. We got XSVG playing the Bane. MSS, Major Storm Stout, is going to be playing the Undying. We've got someone by the name of Ritsu, but I believe it's Mason playing the Invoker. We have actually Ritsu playing the Templar Assassin. And we've got Brax playing the Night Stalker. And looks like we are going to have a battle for this bottom rune, as we've got 4 heroes on the Dire side here and 4 heroes on the Radiant. Looks like Radiant's a little bit reserved about going for it. Instead, we're going to have a battle for the top, which Invoker's actually going to win that click war. So both bounty runes going the way of the Dire side. And look at this nifty little observer ward getting placed. I don't think I've ever actually seen that get utilized. But yeah, that's going to give them a little bit different vision, but a vision nonetheless. So slight advantage here for Team Shazam as they got both those bounties. As we're starting to see how these lanes are going to match up. In the top lane, we're going to have Tusk going up against an Invoker. Mid lane is going to be Razor going against the TA, and we are seeing the Bane start there. And in the bottom lane, it's going to be a defensive tri-lane of Ember Spirit, Dazzle, and Rubik, and they're going up against an aggressive dual lane of an Undying and a Night Stalker. So similar to what we kind of thought was going to happen based on the draft, we see the Bane actually sticking around mid and doing a little bit of stacking. I'm a little surprised that they actually put the TA going mid, considering I'm pretty sure they knew that the Razor was going to be there. And I think they would have been much better off to put the TA safe lane and have the Invoker mid, because that would have got them much better matchups. But lift from Pizza Dad in mid, pulls back Ritsu. And that makes Razor get a huge drain off, but he's just not able to get in range for that last auto attack to finish off the Templar Assassin. They'll just salve themselves back up and be perfectly fine. MSS just trying to push back these heroes on the Radiant side, making sure that they're not going to be able to contest some of the last hits. And this is exactly what you want from a dual lane like this in the off lane. You want to punish the enemy safe laner and force him to not get any last hits. And this is what I was a little worried about the potential of them picking the TA. Is that you put your TA mid and then you put your Ember safe lane and you get punished like this and you can't really contest or deal with it too well.
Haste.
And we're seeing Boreal kind of struggling with that, but we got more action in the mid lane as this Razor is starting to do work.
Death tax.
So both teams, I think, making a little bit questionable decisions. As static field going out there and just catching the Bane on the edge there, doing a lot of damage.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think both teams maybe made a slight mistake, as I unfortunately missed first blood in the bottom lane as the Ember goes down under tower. Didn't look like he was in too much danger there based on my minimap, but I was completely wrong. As notice, MSS not actually going with a point in Tombstone as we miss a kill in the mid lane as the Bane goes down. But now Ember TPing back to the bottom lane as they're going to continue to struggle down here. The Ember's only managed to get 4 CS, and now Dazzle in some trouble. But he does have Shallow Grave available to him, and he will use it, and Brax just goes down as the first kill gets on the board for Boreal. As, MSS almost got that heal off onto Ricky Boys before he was able to juke into the trees and fog him. But now MSS on the run, 20 HP. It's ticking up rather quickly now, almost 50 HP. But he'll be able to get back to safety with his Night Stalker. And now another kill in the top lane is Ritsu. Mason. That's going to be so annoying. And SVG managed to drop Jeppins in that top lane. Sorry, I've missed a bunch of the kills already. There's a lot of action going on this map. And a lot of aggression. So we're going to see a lot of heroes kind of sitting around at this kind of HP, half HP, which means, all of a sudden when they start taking some damage, it's hard to kind of jump in and spot it without jumping around with the camera a little bit too much. But this is going to be a very crucial moment of the game as we're about to hit 4-minute mark. So we're going to have the bottom rune to spawn, but it's also going to be our first night, which means the Night Stalker is going to be quite strong. MSS going to get lifted up by Pizza Dad, but he's going to win the click war and he's going to pick up that regen rune. And now Pizza Dad is going to be in some trouble here as he's going to keep getting chased down by the Undying. As he runs, he just does a nifty little spin there. As I don't think I've ever seen the Rubik set do that. Action on the top as Jeppin's going to go down.
That was scarcely worth my notice.
Is Ritsu going to take... I'll take a little bit of damage, but this is the big thing. When you're always looking at a TA in the mid lane, you want to be looking at the mana, because that's the big one that you've got to burn through. And we're seeing this TA sitting quite low on that mana, down at 50 mana, which means refraction. Going to be very, very difficult. That's all of TA survivability. You burn through the mana, and the HP quickly falls. As now Jeppin's making a rotation down to the bottom lane. He's got a nice Ice Shards off, and that's going to trap MSS, but he's going to put his Tombstone in there, kind of protecting it, but I don't think it's going to keep Brax alive. It's MSS has already gone down. Brax trying to run. He's got nowhere to go. He's going to pick up a TP. He's going to try to TP on out, but there's no actual interrupt coming out here on the side of Boreal eSports, so they will not be able to get the kill, and Brax will get out safely. You're seeing SVG kind of snaking in behind the top tier 1 tower to get an observer ward down, as Ritsu has been lifted and pulled back, as the Razor once again gets a good drain off, but not able to finish that TA off. And now SVG TP's in and goes quite aggressive, and he needed to be a little bit careful there. That was actually quite a big drain. And he used his brain sap. I think he expected that to do a lot more damage to the Razor than it did. Because Razor actually probably could have just stood there and fought, and he would have won against the Bane. But I think both players were kind of startled by that play from SVG. Who is going to sit on top of a haste rune here. We've got the Undying make a rotation down there. He's probably going to be the one to pick it up. No, we got the TA coming, so she'll pick it up. She's actually going to drop a trap on the rune as well.
You get nothing.
Oh, Ricky Boys might be getting caught out here. He's been hit with the Void. He's been slowed down. The Decay, the Tombstone, the hasted TA. That is one dead Dazzle. So he'll respawn in 15 seconds and be back into the fray. But now Ritsu TP's back to the mid lane. Well, he needs to be careful. Jeppins is just across the river, and right behind him is Pizza Dad. Are they going to look for a dive on this tower? It would be very, very risky. We also have the Undying pretty close by. He's going to be stacking the Ancients. And SVG also protecting that bottom rune. Is he going to walk uphill? No, he's not. He's just going to place an Observer Ward, which will just barely spot the rotation from Rubik as he's making his way back down to the bottom, but the Rubik will be out of vision. The Bane will be out of vision of the Rubik, so they didn't spot the Banes making a rotation there, but he just walked past the creep, so they know exactly where that Bane is. Ritsu's been cleaning up one of the stacks that we saw Bane doing a little bit earlier. He'll move on to the Ancients pretty soon. Got Midas getting picked up by Mason in the top lane on the Invoker. Got the makings of a
tower is under attack.
Of a gank, or maybe just trying to protect the Ember Spirit here, as we've got both the Rubik and the Dazzle sitting in behind him. And now Brack's going to charge forward, but he's going to see the fact that there's 3, and he's not scared at all. He says, it's nighttime, I'm quite strong, I'm a level 6 Night Stalker. We can go aggressive here. But not anymore. It was just hit 8 minutes, so that means it's not nighttime, and now Brack's in some trouble. He's going to have to pop his ultimate, as that means he can start fighting. But Pizza Dad's going to get hit with the Void, and they've got a ton of damage in on MSS, but he's able to keep himself alive and drop that Tombstone. Now Mason comes in, drops the EMP. It's going to burn through a bunch of the mana. It's going to drop the Dazzle. Rubik's going to go down to a right click, and now Jeppins came in from above. He got the kill on to MSS on the Undying. We had the Ember Spirit TP on out, and unfortunately Jeppins is going to go down as well. So Boreal eSports is going to lose 3 heroes in that exchange. Shazam only losing 1. As Razor taking advantage of the fact that they just left the Bane in the mid lane, going on the aggressive there, but SVG just kind of hits him with the Nightmare and then runs away. And now Mason rotating on in. He will get the Tornado EMP off onto the Razor, and now Ritsu's going to land the trap on him, and this is going to be a dead Razor. Or will Jeppins be able to save? No, he won't. So the Razor goes down. 8-4 now, the lead for Shazam, as they've been kind of taking control of this early game. They definitely won the top lane Invoker against Tusk. They actually are 1 CS behind the Ember Spirit in the bottom lane, but they were definitely able to contest the Ember Spirit quite a bit, and he's a lot less rich, wealthy than how Boreal eSports envisioned this lane going. And now he's going to take a death once again as they lead with the Void and then the Brain Sap. Or sorry, Fiend's Grip coming out from SVG, and that's a dead Ember Spirit. It's worth noting that Night Stalker is very, very good against Ember, so is Bane. Now Ritsu's stacking that the ancient camp up once again. He'll bottle up the bounty rune here, and then he'll
Dire's
probably
middle
work
tower
on
is under attack.
bringing down that. Oh no, the mid lane's push, so he'll go back and get the XP there. Meanwhile, those 3 heroes that just got the kill on the Ember, they're sticking around the bottom lane. They're going to put some pressure on this tier 1. Now Ritsu needs to be careful because there's pressure coming in from Boreal. As Ritsu's going to see Ricky boys. Now Joichiro's going to come out of that invis, but ice shards off the mark. They weren't going to dive that deep on the tower anyways. Heroes in the bottom lane still pushing.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
As you can see just how much control Shazam has on the map right now. They've got the Invoker just freely
Radiant's
farming
bottom
away in the
tower
top lane,
is under attack.
while some heroes from Boreal just kind of hanging in behind. And the Razor, yeah, he was kind of playing aggressive onto Ritsu in the mid lane, but he's got heroes behind him. And this is an Ember Spirit sitting behind a Razor in the mid lane, while 3 enemy heroes are pushing the bottom lane. There's just a lot of heroes on Boreal that aren't really doing anything, and I know it's maybe not fair to phrase it that way, but they're not really doing anything that's going to get them more gold. Yeah, they're sitting in behind, saving the Razor if there's any kind of action coming up. There's 3 heroes showing the bottom lane. Jeppin's now going to go on to Brax. Meanwhile, there's some fighting going on in the middle of the Radiant jungle. I'm going to stick with this one, as Brax looks like he's going to go down. No! Mason able to save him with the tornado, but will Swomo get the kill? No, he's not. Brax is going to escape. Instead, we lose Jeppins, and it's going to be Pizza Dad as well. As Mason is going to get nightmared up. Brax will go down as the Razor TPs on in, gets him with the static field. Ember's getting quite low as well. He's going to go down now. Mason's going to have to juke through the trees to try to avoid this Razor. He's getting zapped from the lightning. And Joichiro won't be able to finish that off. Oh, the static storm almost gets him. Plasma field. Sorry, I've been calling it the wrong name the whole time. Now, we'll get a turnaround. This tornado's going to hit the Razor. Ritsu comes running on in as he's found another haste rune on this TA, and he's going to go for Ricky Boys. He was the hero that died in the middle of the Radiant jungle. As Jeppin snowballs forward, he gets the kill into MSS. He'll also punch Ritsu, but he needs to be careful. There's 2 TPs coming in from Shazam. It's the Night Stalker and the Bane. And now Jeppins is in a whole lot of trouble as he's going to go down. Ricky Boy's not able to get the Shallow Grave off. He's going to need to use it on himself, and indeed he will. As now his teammates start TPing on in. It's the Ember and the Rubik. As Ricky Boys will go down, we do have a lift from Pizza Dad onto Ritsu, as the TA will try to hide in the trees. But Ember will be able to bring him down. Nice dodge on the tornado coming through from Suoma. But I think he might be going down there, and yes he will. But Joichiro, he's respawned. He comes back in. Plasma Field will get the kill on the SVG. Now they're going to try to chase down Mason. Pizza Dad will look to cut him off the other way that he's going. And Joichiro says, you know what, he's gone. Let's just do some farming of some stacks. But he's not gone. Mason just sitting there on the other side of the trees. Is he going to have any reinforcements coming? He's got MSS in the bottom lane, but he doesn't look to be moving forward. As Mason spotted the courier, and he's going to get the kill on the courier. And then he's going to four-staff himself. Not actually quite down the cliff. He had to walk all the way back around. But now he's just going to re-engage. He's just going to get a tornado EMP off on the Razor. And they have no idea where this observer ward is. They pinged right here. But that's where their observer ward is, and they've got a sentry there, so... I don't know, they've got this deep dire observer ward, and there's also this one, which is just about to expire, which we saw SVG place quite some time ago. But a lot of action there. There was a lot of kills, as we had heroes dying, respawning, TPing back in.
Dire's middle tower
Reminds me
is
of
under attack.
a game I was playing last night with a friend of mine. It was Party Queue. And it was quite low. It was, I think, 3.9k average or something like that, as he's quite a bit lower than me in party MMR, and I'm kind of smurfing on my party MMR anyways. But yeah, we just had so many kills, just constant TPing on in. We had team fights that this lasted forever. So we're gonna lose Ricky Boys here. But oh, this could have turned into actually a bigger fight as Boreal's going commit on this really hard, as we're going to have Tornado, EMP, Tombstone. This could be bad news bears for Boreal eSports. They've lost all their mana. I don't think they're going to be able to get the kill into MSS. Mason's going to be able to jump away, but he's actually going to get caught by the plasma field. The Razor did have enough mana. for that is he must have been bottling up. I don't think they've got arcane boots that were going to be able to hit him, because Pizza Dad went down to 0 mana, so he wasn't going to be able to hit him with the arcanes. But they managed to get the kill there and the tower. I misread that fight. I thought the Tornado EMP Tombstone was going to be enough to make them back away, but I was wrong.
Dire's top
We
tower
are
is under
quite a bit
attack.
into this game already. 15 minutes. It feels like... I mean, it feels like a lot has happened in this game, but it doesn't feel like we're 15 minutes in. But we are. We've got the Invoker leading the way in terms of net worth, as he's out in front, 8,300. Then it's the Razor in second place with 8k, as we're going to get a smoke here from SVG. He's actually going to smoke up himself and Ritsu, but this is just to go in ward. So he wants to get a deep observer ward, and he almost gets the smoke popped by the Razor. But they spot the Razor, and now Joichiro just walks into Mason and gets screen stripped, and that's a dead Razor. And then immediately gets pinged out. They know where the observer ward is now. As Ricky Boys is going to be the one to ping that one out. But let's take a quick look at our gold graph and see where we stand. Shazam out in front, just over 5k lead for them. XP's looks pretty much exactly the same as the gold graph. As we'll go through the items when we get a chance here, as it looks like there's going to be some pressure on this mid-tier 1. And we've got some dire side heroes off to the side, so we might see them potentially trying to go for an engage here. We do have the darkness available for Night Stalker, but looks like they are going to back away here, so we're not going to have that. But we will go over some of the items. As we can see, Brax chose to go with the Midas on the Night Stalker. We've got Arcanes and an Urn on the Bane. The Invoker, he's gone for a Midas as well, but he's got Force Staff and Drums. As we're going to see a rotation down here from the Radiant side. They're smoked up, but they're not going to catch the Invokers. He's going to TP on out, and everyone else is pretty much way away from that. MSS almost completed a mech. He needs about 50 more gold before he's going to be able to purchase that recipe, but he's got his Arcanes as well. Desolator is going to be finished by Ritsu here. On the Templar Assassin, he's got his Treads. So that should finish everyone on the Dire side. Let's move on to the Radiant. Jeppins, he's almost on his mech as
Radiant's middle tower is under
a little bit
attack.
further away, 500 gold away from buying that recipe, but he's got his Arcanes. Then Suoma, who got pressured very, very hard in the bottom lane, he's just got his Travels and 1,200 gold. He has gone for an
Dire's
Aquila,
top tower is under
but
attack.
quite a ways out from getting that Battle Fury. As for our Razor, S&Y finished, has Treads and Aquila as well. The Dazzle, this is a Dazzle, a Turton, just brown boots and a stick and just wards. Does have 700 gold on hand, so it's not that bad, but still definitely the poorest hero in the game right now. And his support counterpart, Pizza Dad, he's got his Arcanes and almost a Force Staff, as he's at 200 gold right now. Just needs a recipe to complete that. SVG is running in behind. Ooh. He was almost able to open up on the Ember Spirit there. He was invis. And Ember just sensed that something was wrong there. He jumped away. Maybe Brax went a little bit too early. I'm not sure if he was jumping as Brax was popping the darkness, or he jumped away as a result of the darkness. But either way, it was a little bit too early for Brax to kind of open up there. But the Bane will get the Fiend's Grip off, but this is not the opening that they wanted, because there's a lot of heroes from Boreal on the other side as they come charging down the lane, and they will get the kill on the Bane here in just a second. Question is who? It's going to be the Razor.
Roshan has fallen to the
Meanwhile,
dark.
we've got
Dire's
Roche
top
going
tower is
down.
under
We've got
attack.
that mech finished. The
Dire's structures are
TA will
fortified.
pick up the Aegis, and we almost have an Aghanims finished on the Invoker. As Pizza Dad's going to TP back to the mid lane, as they're all going to have to
Dire's
TP here if
top
they don't want to
tower
let it
has
go.
fallen.
They will get the top tier 1. Pizza Dad will steal Silence once again. Ice Shards will land on the TA, but they're not going to be able to chase her. They still have 2 heroes sitting up here in the top lane pushing. But with Mason coming up here on the Invoker, he will be able to force them back. Ritsu just drops into a meld. Ice Shards will catch him though. This could be a dead. Ooh, nice Force Staff coming out there from Mason as Ritsu is getting quite low, but remember he does have that Aegis. The question is, how low is he going to get? Are they going to be able to get through the Aegis? They will. So he's going to go down, but Tombstone's up here on the cliff. This is going to be great for Shazam to fight here, as now Boreal eSports have realized that maybe they've gone a little bit too far, and they're going to need to try to back together. As Jeppins almost gets hit with a meld, but SVG actually hits him with a Nightmare, so he immunes the damage. And then they just turn around and get the kill on the Ritsu. So yes, they kill him with the Aegis, then they kill him again. As I was thinking Boreal maybe had gone too far there, but a definite misplay coming up from Shazam has cost them a few heroes here. It's cost them, well, 2 heroes. And maybe a third. Yes, they will get the lift off on SVG as he's trying to TP away. So it should be 3 heroes going down here on the side of Shazam, as that was a definite misplay from them.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, Brax kind of left that fight a little bit earlier. He went for a push in the mid lane, but he's not going to be able to finish off that tier 1. The catapult has put it into deny range, and it looks like Jeppins will be denying that.
Is under attack.
We'll quickly cycle through some of our heroes here to see their progression towards some of their big items. We've got another 1,000 gold before Brax will have his Aghanims finished. The Invoker's Aghanims is flying in right now, so he's got that. Razor up to 2,300 gold. We do have the mech finished on the Tusk. Rubik has finished the Force Staff.
Is under attack.
Still almost done the Battle Fury. 1,900 gold for the TA. MSS has finished his mech, of course, but hasn't really got much gold since then. He's been hurting a little bit for gold. Same with SVG, hasn't really got any gold since we last checked in, but part of that is because of the team fight that just happened and the fact that they died. So. Brax wants to be charging forward here in the top lane. He's indicated it by drawing on the minimap, but now he's just going to get caught out. He was running into some heroes. Definitely more were there than he anticipated. But he will be rescued by his team, and he will get out of there safely. So yeah, they definitely know there's a bunch of observer wards here. They're pinging them out. And look, we actually have redundant wards here. As we've got the Radiant side placing 2 observer wards, 2 different players placing it, but this one quite a bit earlier than the others. Oh, we actually are going to have actions. We're going to have a snowball forward from Jeppins onto Mason on that Invoker. He's going to go down, and they are going to get a kill on the Tombstone. So 150 gold, I believe, going their way. Courier's going to fly and deliver something to MSS. Maybe it's just TP or maybe Sentry Wards. But they will be able to catch MSS. He manages to get a Sentry Ward off to see if there's an Observer Ward up there. There isn't. And Jeppin's pinging that. They've got to go back. They've got to get their creep wave here, because they can't push the tower without those creeps. Not a tier 2 at least. They don't have the damage to out damage the backdoor protection just yet.
Radiant's
Battle Fury finished by the Ember Spirit.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
As this tier 2 will go down. We also have Dire side going for the bottom tier 2. As we had a blink forward from Ritsu. As Pizza Dad got the lift off in time, but SVG is there, so he's there with the Fiend's Grip, and they will get the kill on the Rubik. But I think it might cost them both their lives. As SVG, somehow he's been staying alive for so long, he's going to try to TP out, but that's not going to happen. So both him and Ritsu will go down. And that's going to give the Razor enough gold to finish his BKB. Now Brax will buy his Aghanim Scepter. I imagine a gem will be coming out soon. So they'll be able to de-ward some of these wards. As there's some good vision coming up from the Radiant side, but it's all kind of homing around this top lane Whereas you look at the dire side vision, this is kind of protecting that entrance from the top lane towards their
Dire's
jungle, but it
bottom
doesn't really
tower has
protect
fallen.
the main entrance going into their jungle. And their other observer ward is also very far out on the map,
Dire's
but it's all the way in the
tower
bottom.
is under attack.
So trying to spot out those rotations coming up from the Radiant side pretty early. But Jeppins will get hit with the Tornado EMP. Now he's on no mana. He does have Arcanes up. He will pop them, but still not enough to use his mech.
Tower is under attack.
But he won't need to use it because he's going to use his Blink instead. As Ricky Boys is going to get slowed up, he's going to go down.
Dark light.
We will have a TP out from Jeppins.
Your death.
Just barely out of the vision of Mason there on the Invoker. Now SVG and Pizza Dad are going to run into each other. There was an Observer Ward and a Sentry placed by Pizza Dad.
Dire's middle
Things are
tower
coming out.
is
They
under
see all these
attack.
heroes here. The Tornado will land as Rubik's in trouble. Already used his Force Staff. He's dead.
Fools die.
At some point, we had MSS place a Sentry here and D-Ward. Actually, both those Observer Wards. 2 for 1. As that Sentry actually didn't cost him anything in the end.
Dire's top tower
It's
is
100
under
gold for a
attack.
Sentry, well, 200 for 2. So 100 gold each. And you get 50 for destroying a ward, so... So far, let's, our kill total's evened up, but let's take a look at our gold, and, well, it's almost back to 0, so we've got pretty close to an even game. Still Shazam leading the way slightly, but still anyone's game. This is very, very close still. Because especially when you've got a close game like this, you want to be the team just to get that win and edge them out. We've got best of ones, so you're not going to play this team again in the group stage. You play them once and that's it. You've got 3 games to prove yourselves, once against each team in your group, and then you hope that you just got a better record than the other teams in the group. The top 2 advance. The bottom 2, they're gone. So this win here would be huge for either team. This Jeppin's going to blink forward. He's going to engage onto Mason first, but Mason's going to be able to get himself back to safety. They'll hide behind the tombstone, but Pizza Dad's gone down in the bottom of the screen as Ritsu's just jumped him on the TA, but now Ember's going to get caught in the Fiend's grip, but he's going to live. Oh, Tornado almost catches 3 of them. I think it actually would have been a triple kill had it caught those 3 heroes, but it's not going to do so. It's just barely going to be off the mark. We're going to lose the Dazzle as Ember's going to desperately try to TP away. He will be able to do so, as Jeppins on very, very low HP will just barely not get hit by that Sunstrike, and he'll be able to TP back to safety as Joichiro, the only one who didn't either die or TP out, will just casually walk to the top rune, pick it up, and now he'll just do a little bit of farming in the mid lane while the remaining heroes, the 4 remaining heroes on the Dire side here, will claim a tier 1 tower. But Shazam definitely got the upper hand in that team
Radiant's
fight.
top tower is under attack.
Because it looked like it was a great initiation from Boreal onto Mason, but I think it was maybe just a little bit too early, just slightly a little bit too early before his team was close enough to follow up, and that allowed Mason to Force Staff himself away. But now Mason's already used his Force Staff, and now he's not going to be able to get away. He's going to go down, as they will finally get that kill. It's the Razor that will score the killing blow. Pizza Dad managed to steal Ghost Walk. And now he is running so fast, trying to chase down SVG. Now Darkness has been popped by the Night Stalker, so the vision is a lot lower, as I'll switch over to it now, and this Rubik can't see much of anything. But he's definitely chasing the heroes. He's following them the correct way. His teammates are kind of going to cut off, but he'll turn back. Because I think he actually got close enough right there, right before he turned back, that We actually saw the two heroes here from Shazam turn around, and that's because they've got a gem up on Brax, and now he's going to see Ricky Boys walk right into them there, and that's going to be a free kill for those heroes.
Should have healed
And
myself.
some supports coming in from Boreal, but I don't think they're going to be able to catch anyone here. Because Brax is probably the most catchable one of the two, as he's going to try to TP away, but they will manage to land the Searing Chains, so they will find a kill. And it's going to be on Brax, which means the gem's going to change hands. As Jeppins is going to pick that up. It's an unstoppable streak for Joichiro on the Razor. Now we've got Pizza Dad stealing Nightmare. He's going to use it on the MSS to try to delay that Tombstone from coming out. But unfortunately his Razor has gone a little bit too far, and now Pizza Dad's hiding in the trees, but can't hide from the Tombstone as those zombies just keep spawning on you, and he goes down. Jeppins drop into his snowball, and then he'll be able to blink away. Now he's going to try to TP. Will he be able to save the gem? The Sunstrike was on the mark, but the TP finished first, and I don't think the Sunstrike would have been enough to kill him anyways. We've seen a ton of action here, and this time Shazam comes out ahead in that little engagement. With the one just prior, Boreal comes out ahead. It's been a very, very back and forth, but that one fight right there has allowed Shazam to take that Roche. And they'll get another Aegis up on their TA. Didn't really do much for them last time, but they'll look to be a little bit more successful with it this time around. We just had a bunch of items getting picked up. We'll cycle through the heroes on the Dire side. 2,000 gold on the Bane, working towards, I'm guessing, his Blink Dagger. Undying up to 1,400, still hasn't picked up anything since we last checked in. AC was just picked up by Mason on the Invoker. Ritsu on the Templar Assassin, he got that Aegis, but he's also picked up a Daedalus. And Brax has picked up a Morbid Mask. That's everyone on this side of Shazam. We'll take a look at Boreal, as they just kind of lost that team fight, so I don't really expect too much coming out from them. But we do have a plate mail for the Tusk. Ember Spirit has picked up his Manta. We've got that BKB, which was picked up earlier. It's down to 9 seconds now for the Razor. Does he have something coming in on the career? It's going to be Shiva's Guard for the Razor. There we go. That makes a little bit more sense with all his gold. We've got a Medallion finished by the Dazzle. And Rubik still just with his Arcane and Force.
Is under attack.
The smoke from Shazam is going to move aggressively into the Radiant side of the map, but we had Boreal smoke up and go for their own kind of play, but they're actually going to be coming back here. And now they're going to be in a good position here to open up on some heroes on the side of Shazam. They're going to lead with the Weave, and then Snowball comes forward from Jeppins. They're going to try to go for Ritsu first. They're only going to drop him down to about half HP. Fiend's Grip's going to catch the Razor. Is it going to be everyone to save him? He does have BKB activated, so he's not taking too much damage, but he will still go down. But he does manage to trade himself for the Aegis. Just above this fight, we had the Dazzle go down as well, so Boreal eSports, they're going to lose 2 heroes. And Shazam, they lose the Aegis, so they still have 5 left alive. And now Boreal's got 4 left alive because Dazzle's just bought back into the game. But no buyback available for the Razors. Oh my goodness, Rubik just getting demolished by the Templar Assassin. Blink, meld, crit, GG. Rubik dead. As the tier 3 has also gone down. We're going to have Brax TP up to the top lane. We've got some split pushing coming out from the Ember Spirit. Looks like both Brax have gone down in the mid lane, as I think everyone on the side of Shazam will be able to escape out of there safely. As Brax might go down to the Ember Spirit here, as he's going to try to chase into the fountain. He will get the kill. MSS is TP'd back in, but he's come too early. He's going to go down as Suoma is going to get a double kill here. He won't be able to get the racks. So Shazam, it's cost them 2 heroes, but they've managed to stop the Ember from taking their set of racks. But he has got that tier 3, so those 2 racks are exposed for any future split pushes. But in terms of Rack's advantage, we do have an advantage going the way of Shazam, as that's the first big difference we've seen between these two teams all game long, except maybe the first 5 minutes of the game where Shazam had a great start. I think they were doubling the kills of Boreal, but it was like 8-4 or 9-4 or something like that. But yeah, we've seen both teams be very, very close all game long, and I think now with that Rax going down, it's kind of shifted the tables a little bit more in favor of Shazam. But don't count Boreal out yet. They're still very much in the game. We saw without that Aegis, the TA goes down there and the Razor goes down, so it's a trade. But of course that Aegis meant that the TA just kind of respawned and the Razor didn't have buyback, so it would turned out to be a 4v5 for Shazam, for Boreal eSports. And then on top of that, the Ember Spirit was up in the top lane doing some split pushing. So in terms of their ability to fight, I think if we're on even playing field here and we don't have an Aegis on the side of Shazam, I think Boreal may actually have the upper hand in a team fight. But that's very hard to say because there's some big abilities that can really change the team fights. Obviously, MSS, if he's able to get a great tombstone down that stays up for quite some time, then that's going to be great for Shazam. Tornado, EMPs coming out from the Invoker are absolutely gigantic as well in a team fight. Plus the Fiend's Grip. How long is the Fiend's Grip going to be going? Will SVG manage to get a full Fiend's Grip off on an important target like the BKB Razor? Then we've got, on the Radiant side, we've got how big of a drain can the Razor get? How, I mean, the placement of the Weave is obviously huge. Shallow Grave timing is going to be huge coming up from the Dazzle. Then we've got the Rubik that could steal some really big team fight changing, team fight winning abilities. And then on top of that, Jeppin's on the Tusk, with Snowball being incredible. Could just, you know, if a teammate's getting pulled by a Fiend's Grip, he could just drop into Snowball, pull him into it, and then they're no longer able to focus down that Razor. And Fiend Grip's kind of wasted, but there's a lot that can happen in these team fights to sway them in one way or another, and it's just coming down to positioning and skill. And that's well, it's just great to see. It just makes for some fun Dota. So we're gonna have a smoke here from Shazam as they're gonna try to move down into the Radiant jungle. Rax leading the way. He's picked up Vlad's. Nope, they're not going to go that way. They're going to go towards mid. Oh, they're going to run right into the Razor. And they're going to lead with the Fiend's Grip, and this is going to be a dead Razor. Shallow Grave will be used on him, but he's not going to be able to TP out or anything like that because SVG is still sitting there Fiend's Gripping him. So the Razor will go down, but they're not done. They're going for the Dazzle, and they'll find him. So 2 kills there for the Radiant side, and now Swarma is going to be doing some pushing up in the top. He's forced 2 TPs to come back. Will he be able to get back to safety? He will. He jumps all the way back to the mid lane, as they didn't have Fiend's Grip available, and they didn't really have any way to stop him from jumping away, so he was able to. And that play, although subtle,
bottom tower has fallen.
we'll get into that in a second, as we're going to have a battle here in the bottom as Jeppins and Ritsu are going at it, but Swarma's going to jump in, and Ritsu is about to go down. Refraction will keep him alive for a bit, but the Flame Guard was up by the Ember Spirit, so that just chews through the Refraction damage charges very, very quickly. And he's going to find MSS as well, as the Undying is going to go down, and now the Night Stalker's here too, as he's going to get left. As will Brax be able to get away? It looks like he might be able to, because Mason's coming on in. He will get a Tornado EMP, but it's not going to land on anyone. As the Ember will desperately try to stay alive. He's already used the Sleight of Fist, and he's going to go down. Jeppin's going to go down as well. As, wow, I was actually really surprised by that. I thought we were going to lose the Night Stalker, but instead it was actually Boreal just overextending. Because now Pizza Dad's going to get graved. He's got his Ghost Scepter up as well, and with Joichiro and Ricky Boy's coming back in and Swoma buying back, that's the sign for Shazam to just get out of dodge, as they're going to try to run away here. And I don't think we're going to have cash. As we don't. Ember thought maybe someone went to the side shop there. Tried to catch him with the Sleight of Fist bolas. But no one went that way, so no one was caught.
Is under attack.
Dark light.
As we'll quickly bring up our items here and see who's picked up what, because we had that Ghost Scepter get picked up by the Rubik there, and we saw the first use of that. What is Razor's BKB down to? I believe it's going to be 8. Yep, 8 seconds. We've got the Ember Spirit who's picked up his Daedalus. It's a big pickup for him. Besides that, with GG boots picked up at some point for Jeppins. Don't remember when that is. He's actually going to be holding a gem. The gem that they picked up from Braxa a long time ago in that fight at the bottom. Yeah, down here. Remember, Jeppins TP'd out right here. That's why that trap was actually put there, to try to spot him when he was TPing out. Yeah, so he's going to be holding on to that. Still holding on to plate mail as well. I imagine that's the makings of an AC, but it's going to be quite a while since before they get that finished. They already got Shivas up on the Razor, so that's not going to be what it is. As for our Dire side, got the Bane with the Glimmer pickup, and he's gone for Force Staff, not Blink. MSS has picked up a Force Staff of his own. He's got a Ghost Scepter as well. Hasn't upgraded to GG boots yet, so no Guardian Greaves for him. The Invoker, there's the item progression. I was going to say he hasn't picked up anything yet, but he has. He just picked up the Daedalus.
Top barracks are under attack.
And Brax,
Dire's top barracks
well, we
has
saw him
fallen.
pick up the Lads. What is his BKB at? 10 seconds, fresh. As he's picked up another gem. And yeah, in the chat, oh my god, 2 Ritsus. Yeah, unfortunately, they changed their names. Their official names, so they're the same. But I believe the Templar Assassin is actually Ritsu, and the light blue, the Invoker Ritsu, is actually Mason. I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe that's what the case is. But this one's still anyone's game here. As Brack's going to do a little scouting of his own. His darkness will wear off, so that means Brax isn't going to be able to see around his hero quite as well as he once was able to, and that allows the Radiant side to be able to see a little bit more, as well as the Razor is actually going to walk right into that tornado. And Boreal will claim their last, actually not their last, they're still the mid-tier 2 up. But they will get the bottom tier 2. As the Radiant side still has their top tier 2 available as well. But it's seen better days. It's on not the highest of HPs, 180 HP. As we're going to have a smoke coming out from Shazam. As they'll move down into the Radiant jungle, we'll let Brax lead the way for us. So that's a lot of pings that just came out all of a sudden. They're going to try to find the Ember Spirit hiding in the trees here. He doesn't have a Remnant down anywhere, but he will be able to blink down into the trees. But Brax is going to be able to spot him with that Aghanims. As Ember, he's in trouble. They are going to get the Fiend's Gripped off. Suoma's dead. He's going to go down, and now I think they're going to back and go for Roche, where Ritsu's already been working on it. As the Roche will go down, and we will find our third Aegis go to Ritsu, but we also got a Cheese, which Courier will pick up. As this smoke from Boreal came a little bit too late to contest there, but it would have been probably not the best fight for them to take with their Ember down, especially because no buyback available, because it's still on cooldown, I believe. And that's why his respawn is so long as well. It's still on cooldown for another 2 minutes. Brax pops that darkness once again. We'll take a quick look at our gold graph. 15k lead for Shazam, 14k XP for them as well. As they will get a slow off on the Jeppins here, and this is probably going to be our last fight of the game. As Shazam going to look to close this one out. They've got the first tier 4 tower down. They're going to look for the second, as it is just melting to that Desolator from the TA. Snowball coming in from Jeppins. He will get the punch off onto the TA, but it's right into a refraction, so it does pretty much nothing. As Ricky Boy is just going to go down as Brax popped his BKB and just running at him with his wings out on the Night Stalker. As we will have a buyback from both Jeppins and Ricky Boys. Fort will get used to keep the throne alive for a little bit. It's already down to half HP, but they don't even need to wait for that, as they're just going to kill all the heroes, and GG will get called as Boreal eSports will tap out 44 minutes into this game, kill total 40-28, as this game was very, very close for a long time, and then all of a sudden Shazam kind of blew it open and just kind of kept running with it. They had some great pickoffs, especially that one on the Ember Spirit in the bottom, bottom lane just below the secret shop. That one pretty much sealed the deal for Boreal. But great game. Shazam will take their first game of the tournament and of the night. We're going to see them play in all 3 games tonight. So we got that to look forward to. But we've got Shazam playing up against Arctic in our next match, and then they'll be playing up against Not Today in the final match of the night. And we'll see Boreal. Well, we won't see Boreal anymore tonight, but we'll see them tomorrow night in 6.86, maybe? I don't know. It could still be 6.85. We'll have to wait and see. But that's going to be it for this one. Once again, guys, I'm Niz. Hopefully you did enjoy the cast. But we do still have 2 games coming up, so if you did, stick around and join us for those. If you didn't, well, let me know why you didn't, and I'll try to improve for next time. But that's going to wrap it up for this, as our first game of Group D is complete. Shazam takes it. And we're going to go to a quick break and let some music play. And I'm going to be going through a little bit of the 6.86 patch notes while we wait for our next game to start. Although it should be starting in a couple minutes, so we probably won't have too much time. But I'll quickly go through some of it. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to throw it to music, and we'll be back with our next game in just a few.